Britney Spears comes out with this memoir, The Woman in Me. And I think there are actually a lot of life lessons in this thing. A lot of life lessons for people thinking about putting their child anywhere near the entertainment industry. She lost her virginity when she was 14 years old. She was drinking with her mother starting in the 8th grade. She was taking Adderall like it was candy to get high later on. She wound up in taking lithium, which is a very serious drug, thanks to her conservatorship and so on. The dad constantly telling her she wasn't good enough. The love was not unconditional. That even as recently as her big tour out in Vegas, her diet was being monitored. He was always telling her she was fat. She had an abortion at age 19 when she was dating Justin Timberlake, even though she didn't want to. It's a horror story.
She is loud, articulate, very bold, confident, absolutely confident in everything that she does. None other than Megyn Kelly. Well, this time also she's waded into the conversation of Britney Spears' latest memoir, The Woman in Me. And guess what she has been talking about? Absolutely a woman to listen to all the time. Megyn Kelly is the woman we have to listen to. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Legends Open Axe News. Please do well if you haven't subscribed yet. And of course, if you're new to this channel, all you have to do is to just hit the subscription button. Just get yourself a new best friend, or we're here to serve the latest from the world of art entertainment. So please do well to keep the subscription coming. The part and comments also will be appreciated in the comment section. Join today's episode. Let's get started. Now, many of you have been really reacting to Britney Spears' memoir. That's The Woman in Me. Majority when you go to social media, especially on Twitter, it has been very brutal over there. Some even slashing or smashing, I should say, Britney Spears for pathetically coming out to, unravel certain intricate details or revelations about herself and even people that are involved. But hey, that aside, Megyn Kelly has also waded into the conversation about Britney Spears' memoir. Now, this time, I like the conversation that Megyn Kelly seemed, even though we all do know that Megyn is very she doesn't mince words, and she doesn't really like to fake anything that she says. She says it as it is. Now, remember, during Chrissy Teigen and John Legend's appearance, when these two were making it to the White House, Megyn Kelly apparently did say that basically they were looking so disgusting. So basically, this is someone that likes to say the truth, even though it's so difficult for people to, express it or say it. She would just use just some few seconds to say. But let's listen to exactly what she said or has to say about Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. Do enjoy Megyn Kelly.
Tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I'd on it in Daily Mail reporting. That she had an abortion when she was dating Justin Timberlake, when she found herself pregnant at just 19. She writes, "It was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I'd anticipated. He said we weren't ready to have a baby in our lives, that we were way too young. I'm sure people will hate me for this, but I agreed not to have the baby. I don't know if that was the right decision. If it had been left up to me alone, I never would have done it. And yet Justin was so sure that he didn't want to be a father." She said, "The abortion was one of the most agonizing things I've ever experienced in my life." They dated back in 1999 to 2002. And both went on to have children with other spouses later. I don't know. To me, we don't talk about things like that. I applaud her for admitting it. It does feel like a personal detail that, others would have chosen not to share, but I applaud her for revealing it because there are real risks to this sort of carefree, oh yeah, we're going to have premarital sex and we're going to, have the celebrity lifestyle. And if you find yourself pregnant and you're not yet ready to be a mother or a father, these are your choices. You either have to give birth to a baby you didn't really want to have and raise it, or potentially give it up, which also is emotionally tough, or you have to kill your own baby. I mean, whether you're pro-choice or not, you can't argue that killing that life growing inside of you is killing a baby on its way to becoming a viable baby.
Yeah, I bravo to her, and I know that she's definitely like mentally unstable right now. But bravo to her for coming forward and being so vulnerable in like just saying that this was traumatic and not hiding behind, women's rights and women's empowerment. I am encouraged that she is coming forward and speaking publicly. And I think this could be a significant point of healing for her. If this truly was a very traumatic experience, like she said, then hopefully this will be the beginning of that trauma being able to heal in speaking, the words. A lot of times victims, we, shove things down for so long and think that we're fine. But when we speak it and say, it wasn't fine, that's when healing can start to set in because you're no longer on the defensive. So my hope would be that this is a step toward healing for Britney.
You're so right. What a change from, scream, shout your abortion. I'm proud of my abortion. This is somebody who's been one of America's sweethearts saying, I did this thing with one of the most famous men on the planet. And I'm really deeply regretful about the whole experience and how painful it was for her. I'm sure that memoir is going to be quite a bestseller. I don't know. The way it's going for her, I very much worry. Regretful about the whole experience and how painful it was for her. I'm sure that memoir is going to be quite a bestseller. I don't know. The way it's going for her, I very much worry she's going to wind up like Anna Nicole Smith unless there's some sort of meaningful intervention. She just seems to be in a downward spiral. Right, exactly. And unlike so many of these people who find themselves in the news in this way, what has she ever done that's like wrong? Britney seems to have mental health problems, but she's not out there hurting anybody. You see like she ran up to that basketball player and tried to tap him on the back and the security guard punched her in the face. Like, I just feel like she's been punched in the face in so many different ways. And the way she's living and the Instagram posts are just proof of the hard knocks she's received. I realize she's a celebrity, she's famous, she's got a bunch of money, she's got a lot of fans, but it just seems like the real truth of Britney's life it's been a very difficult long haul.
Yeah, and she's grown up in the spotlight. She was like the little Disney star, and then she was America's sweetheart. And she never had any chance, I think, to know who she was outside of being an actress, So I think that has got to be so confusing for her coming into her age now and probably realizing, she never knew who she was. And she made decisions like the abortion to protect her image. And,
or because he wanted her to.
Right.
That's
exactly.
What she's
yeah. And that's something to talk about, right? Like that pressure from men that I don't want it, so you kill it. And then you deal with the trauma, that needs to be talked about. Right. Like that pressure from men that I don't want it, so you kill it. And then you deal with the trauma, that needs to be talked about. And I'm thankful that she is. I think that this could, like I said, I think it could be a starting point for her to really discover who she is.